But you seem to be one of those people who came in, and it seems you got a good agency. Can you tell us a bit about your story?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to get.
Hello, welcome to the channel once again. This is Kofi Afum, your favorite Kofi Afum. Guys, I've been gone for almost a month now, but please forgive me. I wasn't really doing well. I was sick, but now I'm fully fit and I'm back. As you've seen from the heading of this YouTube video, I was really inspired to do this because I've watched a documentary on, I think, one of the foreign channels where this Filipino carers came into the country. I think it's England. They came here as carers and they were actually trapped. They couldn't leave their house. Their passports were seized. It's happening in other parts of the world. So fortunately for them, they had there was this Filipino support system, and what they actually did is they planned their escape, got them out of the house, and these people were finally safe. They were kind of treatment they were subjected to, you can't tell. So it's like you are imprisoned or you are in a prison, because if you're living in a house or living somewhere and you can't go out, you can't do anything by your own will, then you are basically trapped or you're in prison. So that was what happened to them. So today we are going to talk about this or do something relating to that. So naturally, as human beings, we want to improve our life. We want to improve the life of our families. Hence, we travel to other continents, travel to other countries just to seek greener pastures. That has been the case for a lot of people currently in the UK. Since the introduction of the health and care worker visa. So the health and care worker visa is a visa type which allows healthcare workers like doctors and nurses to migrate into the country, come and work because of the shortage of this kind of occupation. And the government has further extended this to carers to also use this visa type, come in and help with the aging population and the shortage of carers as well. To be a carer or to come in as a carer, you don't need any special qualification or certification as compared to your doctors and nurses. So what has happened is it has caused certain organizations to actually, misuse this kind of visa system. And how do they do that? These organizations go to countries or continents like Africa. For instance, we have some stories that we are going to share here, about 3 stories. These organizations go, they sell you a dream that's not real. They tell you about you come, you have your accommodation sorted, you have this that sorted. Basically that's what they tell these carers. And as nurses or doctors, sometimes the nurses, because most of the organizations that you're being employed for, you're being employed by, are structured. These things that they sell to you, like there's an accommodation, is true. But for the carers, we've realized that it's not always true. There's always some kind of lie associated. As I said, this visa type has helped the UK government in caring for the aging population. Though this visa type has been a win for the UK government, it has come at a cost for migrants who are coming in. The lies that's being told, migrants find themselves in places that you cannot imagine to. You can't even phantom. Like, I have 2 individuals that they share their story with me. I told them about my channel and what I'm trying to do, and I even asked if they could come on the channel. But I sat down, all of us, we sat down and realized that it won't be for their benefit, because they are still under this kind of sponsorships. So them coming and exposing their employers or sponsors, it's not going to end up well for them. So what they did is I told them, that's fine, share your story. I will just read it out and narrate it to my viewers so that we can, advise the incoming ones, the carers who want to migrate here, how they need to do their things, the kind of agencies they need to look for, and what is the, a red flag. And we have an individual who also came with like some kind of an agency as a carer, and he also narrates his story. So we have a lot of stories to share today. So let's listen to the first story from this lady. So actually, this lady was a nurse back in. She's Ghanaian, so she was a nurse back in Ghana, but she couldn't apply to come here as a nurse because you know how now it's very difficult to come in as a nurse because the NHS is not recruiting from red listed countries in which Ghana, Nigeria, and some other African countries are part of. So what she did is she had an agency or an organization that told her or who said they are recruiting carers and they can recruit her and bring her here. So fine, the organization sold her dreams and sold her, this is the contract, you're going to come in as a carer. We have a job already lined up as you're going to work in a care home. And yeah, so she came in, landed in the country. Fortunately for her, she was picked up, but she had an accommodation, and with her contract, she was never told that the accommodation that she was going to live in for the first month, she needed to pay. That's fine. So she was able to raise money, or she had money to pay for the accommodation, and she had only 1 month to live in that accommodation. The subsequent months, she would need to move out from that accommodation and find her own place. And bear in mind, before that, right, the only time she could work, or the number of times she's worked in a week, was 6 hours as a domiciliary care worker. And if you're working 6 hours a week for a whole month, how much are you going to make to pay for your accommodation? How much are you going to make to pay for your rent? So she had to resort to telling friends of her predicament, for friends to help her in paying for her accommodation. So if like someone, not everyone is that outspoken to go to someone to tell that person, oh, I need money for accommodation. Some of us are shy, we can't do that. But she did that, had help. And fortunately for her, she later got a new employer, but the stress she went through was unbearable. Most of the things the agency told her was not true. And at the end, she suffered for that. The second story, this is quite, I don't even know how this person is doing now, because this story was shared to me like a long time ago. At that time, I didn't have any plans of doing this YouTube video. So that person got into the country. He was also sold the same dreams, like we have work lined up, this. So came into the country, and basically, just imagine getting to a new country. You have no friends, you didn't inform anyone. You get here and you're not even picked up by the agency or the organization that brought you in. So he had to contact friends. Later on, he was able to reach out to his agency, and they said he needs to get his own accommodation and sort himself out in a country and in a town that he knows no one. He had to live with friends for a while, and it was quite hectic for this person. And later on, friends had to help him get an accommodation. Just imagine. I mean, there was no job for him. He just came in and wasn't working. He's just been there for months upon months. Because I don't know what these organizations or agencies are doing. I don't know whether they get you on their roster. And when there is a job, let's say you live in Southampton. Let's say there's a job in, let's say, Birmingham. And they'll be like, oh, there's a 6-hour job in Birmingham. And you have to drive or take a train and go to that place, or go to Birmingham and do that job, whether in a care home or as a whatever, domiciliary worker, then come back. So this agency has the satisfaction of having people on their payroll or on their roster, and anytime they need you, they tell you, go here, go there, and go and work. We've seen, I can continue with such stories. Like, there are a lot of people who are currently in this situation, but they can't speak up, they can't tell their story because They are scared that once they tell their story, they are gonna be like fished out, and they are going to lose their sponsorship. And once you lose your sponsorship, you can't stay in this country without that sponsorship. You become an illegal migrant, or you'll be here illegally. So they don't want to, they don't want to put themselves into trouble. So they'll have to stick with this. And we have certain agencies who are also good. I'm going to call a friend of mine, right? And he's going to share his story. He also came as a carer. What I'm trying to say is we have bad agencies for carers and we have good ones. So give me a sec. Let me call him. So we've got a colleague of mine on the line. He also came in as a carer, and he's going to tell us his story. Hello, my guy. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How about you?
I'm good, man. So you remember prior to this, I spoke to you regarding if you're happy to come on the channel to share your story, because we've had people who came in with certain agencies, and their stories have been bad. But you seem to be one of those people who came in, and it seems you got a good agency. Can you tell us a bit about your story?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough to get a good agency, and everything went smoothly. Basically, I did my interview with them. They had their people ready to accept people that they think their details are right to employ. So I did my interview with them. I waited for I think 2 days. They got back to me that the Ukita is ready to accept me. So it was very smooth and just straightforward with their process.
Okay.
I had to send my details to them after the interview. Then so they got back to me that everything is all right. So so basically that's the initial thing. Yeah.
Nice. We had people who, upon arrival into the country, they weren't picked up. They were told to find accommodation by themselves. They were told to get themselves out from the airports. Did you find yourself in that same situation, or your situation was different?
So I'm not going to lie. Yeah, each one and its experience as to how things unfolded for them. So with mine, my agency was very good to me because with my ticket, with my visa application, with virtually everything that the process is meant to provide for people that they are recruiting, they did virtually everything for me without paying nothing to them.
Okay.
So they bought my ticket, the visa process and everything. So everything went smoothly. They picked me up from the airport. I came in from Heathrow to
Wherever you are.
from Heathrow to West Midlands, and I got here. My accommodation was already there.
So-
I was even meant to be there for 3 months free without paying nothing, and I was there. I started work. I was even there for 6 months without paying nothing to them till I think they got people in. Then I had to move out, which wasn't an issue with them. So so that's it. It was very smooth. It was easy going. So I think it depends on the agencies and the kind of recruitment the kind of recruiter that they have with, or the links that they have with people. Because mine was very straightforward and smooth, and it wasn't challenging, and it was straightforward for me. Yeah.
So basically, you need to find a reputable agency, not any road bystanding roadside agency. That's what you're saying.
100%, because people are in a rush to probably move out because of the hardship maybe back home. So they just hear of anything and then they just badge onto it. They normally don't probably do their research or try to rush through things, and they're not relaxed with the process. So so I didn't pay nothing to them. It was something
Nice.
basically what they do for the nurses, that's what they did for me, and it was easy going.
Okay.
So
So currently, because I know you were a nurse back home, but because of this red listed countries, that's why you couldn't. That's why you came in as a carer. Are you currently in a state of attaining your nursing license in the UK, or you're still a carer?
So that's what I'm saying. People don't really sometimes don't know what they want. Yeah. When they come in and they are working and they are making their money, they want to progress from their current state. So with mine, yeah, I started with because I was a nurse back home, so I had to also find my way out to be registered here as a registered UK nurse. So I did my own registration. I did my CBT, OSCID, and everything. So now I'm done with the OSCID and everything. So I'm now waiting for my pin to come in, which should be in soon, maybe within the course of the week.
Nice. Congrats, man.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. So that's the process. I think people need to at least read about what they want and at least make a decision to progress every state that they find themselves.
Okay.
I can't compare myself to others, but I think with my agency then my employer, everything has been smooth for me. So yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, my guy. Thank you. You've been of much help. We'll speak another time.
Yeah,
I'll let you
you.
go.
Thank you for
No
thank you for
worries.
inviting me. Yeah.
I'll invite you onto the channel and we'll have
We need
face
to
to
do that
face.
for
Yeah,
sure.
face
For
to
sure, we
face.
need to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Cheers, man.
Have a
Cheers.
nice time.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You
See
too.
ya.
Yeah. So this is another person who came in as a carer, but because he did his search well, he got hold of a reputable agency who like linked him up to somewhere his skills will be valued. So the motive of this is we shouldn't be in a haste to travel to search for greener pastures, because where you're coming to, because we've had UK, US, this, so you just want to leave your country and come. Sometimes you might come here and the hardships that you might face might be even harder, because look at this two stories that I read to you guys. If you were in their shoes, what would you do? And look at those Filipino carers who encountered such a problem. Currently, as we are speaking now, people are encountering this problem. They are under sponsorship and they are trapped and they can't get out. And you are living, you how much is the rent in the UK? It's so much. So if you're going to work 6 hours a week, how much are you going to earn? How much, if you have a family back home, how much are you going to send the family? Let's say you're a dad or a mom who has children. How are you going to support all these people? So we just have to be careful. Make sure we are not trapped under sponsorship. We don't want to get to the point where we'll be in the position of this Filipino carers. We'll be in a home, we can't go out. We are working like prisoners, like slaves, and that'll be detrimental to our health. Welcome to the channel. If you really like this, please subscribe, comment, and share.